How people steal your power, energy and soul. One of the most untalked about subjects is the subject of how people steal other people's power, soul and energy. It is more common than you can understand, and it goes beyond the realm of the physical dimension with people and extends into the non-physical dimension with non-physical beings. People on Earth have what is called the soul, or personal power. The soul of humans is something that can be taken or given away or stolen. The act of soul stealing is a common phenomenon among people in relationships where one person is a dominating or power-taking person. People also have what is called an energy field or aura. A common problem that most people have is that somewhere in life they became disconnected to their own personal power or soul, and because of this they have become dependent on the energy of other people. The term energy vampire or psychic vampire is often a misunderstood term, but it is basically a person who lives and feeds off the life force or energy of other people. The energy vampire person is actually unable to develop their own energy, and in turn they have to go outside of themselves to get energy. The main cause of energy stealing or feeding is a lack of connection to one's own personal power or soul, for if you had a connection to yourself on a deeper level you would have no need to use other people for energy. It is extremely common among humans, although only a few people are actually aware of it, in terms of having to protect their own energy from being stolen or used by others. On a deeper level, the act of taking or using someone else's energy is based on having power over another person, and it is a lower level of consciousness that people have chosen to operate under. A common belief is that energy vampires are negative people or use negativity to drain you, although this is not true. Someone can take your energy just by you speaking to them, listening to them speak, looking at them, or being close to them in terms of space, like if you were to stand very close to another person. It has nothing to do with being negative, it has to do with a person who is on a lower vibration energetically, and just by dealing with them, your energy is taken. What is even more interesting is most people who take or use other people's energy do not know they do it. This is because most people do not understand how energy works, therefore they have no idea they are draining you of your energy. The people who understand how energy works and are also users of other people's energy are what I call professional thieves, meaning they actually purposely choose to use other people for energy. I had a friend at one time in my life who told me she would purposely steal other people's energy and feed off of other people energetically. I asked her how she did it, and she said, with her mind. She said she would pull people to her intentionally just with her thoughts, and by just someone paying attention to her, she could take their energy. I asked, so a person has to be paying attention to you? And she said yes, by them paying attention to me, they give me their energy. This makes a lot of sense, because whatever people focus on, they tend to give their energy to. I later found myself always tired and drained around this friend. Whenever we have a relationship or interaction with another human, the other human we are having the relationship with or interaction will either function on two levels. The first level is the giver level. This is a person who does not have any type of hidden agenda or desire to control or have power over others. This level is how people should function with one another. This level is what is right and respectful within the universe, as the way you are supposed to operate as a human being. Within the universe, humans are supposed to be beings who share their energy with each other, and not take one another's energy and not give back anything in return. The giver is a person who is connected to the light, as they say, meaning, this person has a connection to his or her own inner power, soul, and has no need to use other people for energy, because they can develop their own energy. This is how you are supposed to function as a human being. The giver has an energy field, aura, which develops its own energy and in turn gives that energy to others. The second level is the user, abuser and taker level. The user is the human who has chosen to dominate, control, have power over, or manipulate one another as a way to compensate for his or her own lack of power, understanding and soul. The user may be completely unaware of his or her actions and functions on automatic pilot, not really knowing who they are and why they operate the way they do. Some users understand more than others and actually purposely steal other people's power, energy and soul. The user tends to associate with other users, and givers usually avoid these types of people. The user may be in high-profile positions, such as teachers, healers, leaders, etc. The user is more common within the race of humans than the giver. This is due mostly to unhealthy choices and being spiritually disconnected to one's own power and soul. The user tends to operate under fear, which is due to his or her own lack of power, understanding, and higher consciousness. The user functions at a level at which non-physical beings of a dark nature function at, which is a level of overpowering one another, dominating one another, or attempting to control one another. The user has an energy field, aura, which is reversed, meaning it does not develop its own energy, but instead it gets its energy from outside of itself, from other people. As we deal with one another in a social or sexual relationship, we exchange energies completely unseen by the naked eye. When a user operates with another user, there is very little power lost or stolen between the two people, as they are both users and operating at the same level. When a user operates with a giver, there is an imbalance of energy exchanges. What this means is the user cannot give or exchange energy because of his or her lack of power, while the giver tends to give energy to the other person, which is the user. So this imbalance creates an unhealthy relationship between the two people, as one person takes and the other person gives. As the relationship develops, the user can actually steal whole parts of power or soul from the other person who is a giver. These parts of power or soul that are stolen from the giver are usually unknown to them because of their lack of understanding of how the soul functions on an energy level in regards to soul loss. As parts of personal power are stolen, they create openings or holes in the energy field. Once a person begins to develop holes in his or her energy field, they are energetically vulnerable, meaning they have power missing from them, which in turn has caused them to be open energetically to non-physical beings. The attachment of non-physical beings in a person's energy field is what causes a person to develop lower levels of consciousness, energy, and power. The more power a person has stolen from another person, the more power is lost from that person and the more energetically vulnerable that person becomes. It is important to understand that we are not living in a world that is made of kind and loving beings, although you may believe you are. The darker truth of life is that this world we live in is made mostly of fear-based beings, lower-level humans, and dark consciousness. For if we lived in a loving world, there would be no need to fight, battle, have power over each other, start wars, or hurt one another. The fact that humans have lived for thousands of years, and have created nothing but sickness, pain and misery within one another is only an example of how humans operate on a deeper level. Now, I believe there is a time for change. That we must understand what is wrong in order to fix it. That we must choose to understand who we are, and learn to make the choice to not live in fear, or give our power to others, or allow fear and lower-level energy into our lives. Until we understand that there is no more need for fear, or pain or misery, we will never change. To make the choice to become spiritually intelligent is to understand who we really are. Who we are is not a living, breathing human being, but we are much more than that. We are soul beings, trapped in a physical body until we make the choice to leave this world. So when a person comes to you to steal your power, what are you going to say to them? No. You cannot steal my power, go get your own energy and power and stop using other people for your own personal benefit. When we make the choice to not allow others to use us, we choose to become self-empowered through our own choices to not allow other people to make us sick. Peter Michael is an advanced-level exorcist, angel healer, clairsentient, clairaudient, and teacher of energy clearing work. He was trained by master exorcist and shamanic healer John Livingston in 2003. He has had extensive experience dealing with non-physical beings and the dimension of spirit and energy. He has cleared and removed many thousands of spirits, demons and dark forces from the planet and people. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for daily motivational and spiritual videos. Check out link in the description to learn more about your soul.